Welcome back, everyone. In several places, the Quran challenges people who doubt its divine revelation. We commonly hear Muslims repeating such challenges. You're seeing some recent examples from the comments section. In the Quran, the challenge goes something like this. If you are in doubt about what we have sent down, bring a surah like it. Surah 11:13 appears to betray some lack of confidence in the messenger's recitation, challenging its critics instead to bring 10 surahs like it. However, this challenge, as it occurs in the Quran and as it's frequently communicated to us by Muslims, is completely ineffective for a couple of reasons. This video will help Muslims refine their challenge and present us with something more meaningful in the future. First, the challenge is not clearly defined in the Quran. What does it mean to produce a surah like it? Like it in what way? Length, rhyme, grammar, content? Unfortunately, in the modern period, any nuances of this argument have collapsed into a nebulous cloud, but it wasn't always this way. Let's take a brief trip through the Encyclopedia of the Quran's article on inimitability. Some believed that the Quran was not inimitable per se, but that Arab eloquence was taken away after Muhammad was sent, rendering the Quran inimitable from that moment forward. Others argue that the Quran's composition and structure are what renders it inimitable. Others appeal to its eloquence, which was a standard opinion by the 10th century. Others argue the Quran's inimitability lay in its overall composition, its meaning, and wording. Now, this is not a video about theories of the Quran's inimitability. I just wanted to sample a couple of theories, since many Muslims who issue these challenges seem entirely ignorant of the exact nature of the challenge they're issuing. So I'll leave studying and critiquing those theories to the Muslims who present us with these challenges. After all, it is up to Muslims to define exactly what their challenge is. Second, the Quran has already given the outcome of the challenge. If you do not do this, that is, bring a surah like it, and you will not do it, and then again, humankind and jinn could not even work together to produce something like the Quran. So the Quran issues the challenge and predicts the outcome. At this point, Muslims have two choices. First, they can believe the outcome that the Quran predicts. They can believe that nobody can bring a surah or 10 like it. Therefore, in a clear example of circular reasoning, they can conclude the Quran is inimitable because it says it is. But since they're already predisposed to the outcome, the challenge is meaningless. What about a second option? Muslims could be open to the possibility that a surah, or 10, could be brought like that of the Quran, but that will call into question verses like Surah 224 and 1788, which clearly say the challenges cannot be met. But doubting the Quran by being open to the possibility that the Quranic challenges could actually be met could result in an act of apostasy, as defined by Sharia law. Therefore, since the Quran gives the outcome of its challenge verses, it either renders the challenges meaningless with its foregone conclusion, or entails Muslims risking acts of apostasy. A third difficulty is that the Quran borrows from many prior sources. One therefore wonders if these challenge verses apply to those sections of the Quran as well. It makes little sense to borrow material from a prior source and then challenge others to produce something like what was borrowed. Fourth, the challenge seems inherently subjective. The fact is that many find reading the Quran or listening to the Quran to be a difficult experience. They see and hear nothing miraculous, certainly nothing worth trying to produce something like it. Yet their opinions will be discarded by Muslims. Fifth, even if the challenge was not met, that does not necessarily imply the Quran was sent down from God. For example, many classical music aficionados could easily say that nobody could compose music like Beethoven, but that hardly implies that Beethoven was divinely inspired. Such examples could be multiplied. In summary, Muslims need to clarify what they mean by produce a surah or 10 like it. Since the Quran does not specifically say, any clarification is human interpretation. Muslims will have to further substantiate why their human interpretation is sufficient to clarify this allegedly divine challenge. The outcome of the challenge verses is already given in the Quran. Therefore, Muslims need to tell us if they presuppose the challenge cannot be met, in which case the challenge is hardly an honest challenge at all. or if they are open to the possibility that the challenge can be met and willing to risk an act of apostasy. 3. Muslims need to tell us if the challenge verses apply to the entire Quran, including to material that the Quran is borrowed from. If so, they need to explain the logic of borrowing material from a prior source and then challenging someone to produce something like what was borrowed. If not, they need to provide a complete list of all of the passages in the Quran that the challenge does not apply to, so we know the limits of the challenge. 4. Muslims need to explain why such an inherently subjective challenge is coherent. And finally, Muslims need to explain why such a challenge, if not met, necessarily proves or implies the Quran's divine origin. These are just some examples of areas that require clarification regarding the challenge verses of the Quran. Now, if you doubt this video I have made, produce one like it. I mean 10, if you are truthful. What do I mean by produce a video like it? I'll leave that unclear, but it doesn't even matter because you can't, so don't even try. And in not trying, you will not produce a video like this one, and in not producing a video like this one, you'll prove you can't meet my challenge. That's what we call a win-win. By the way, if you're curious about what material the Quran borrowed from, here are some examples. Also, check out the pinned comment for more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.